Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Hello again, and thank you for joining me here at Underneath Her Skin. I am so happy that you're viewing this video today because we are going to be talking about what do you do if you are feeling lonely. I have had those experiences and I want to share it with you. But before I dive into that, please subscribe to my channel. It's simply about what we go through in silence. And on this channel, I interview various people. I also share my personal experiences about some things that I have experienced, and I will continue to do that as time goes by. I also share about family because I am a wife and mom. So I share challenges with in those kind of situations as well. I also share about lifestyle. So if you are interested in learning more about content from my channel, please subscribe. I would definitely love to have you as a part of Underneath Her Skin's family. All right. So as I said, today, we are going to be talking about what do you do if you are feeling lonely. Okay. And this topic came to me because I was reading an article last week. And this was some of the things that it was discussing, talking about being lonely, what do people do? And it made me think about a time in my life before marriage when, I just felt lonely, and I'm pretty sure we've all had those experiences. You may have friends, but you still feel lonely or alone. And I remember with my situation, it was like early 20s, college years, before all of that. And I am an extrovert. So being an extrovert, for me, I gravitate to being around people. It kind of fuels me. It helps me go on, it just, as an extrovert, that's kind of like part of my thing, or used to be, because I'm realizing now that, after marriage and everything like that and getting older, I'm in my 30s, I'm not so much into just always being around people. My family is what I find joy and pleasure in, just being around, and for me, going from the person who would normally just go up to a person and, start up a conversation, a stranger. Not that I won't necessarily do that now, but not as I would normally before. So I'm a little bit more reserved than I was before. Nonetheless, I digressed a little. But during that time, I realized that there were some things that, because of my loneliness, I partaked in and probably most likely would not do it otherwise. And these are not bad things, right? Or extremely bad. It's just when I look back at it now, I'm realizing that, some, entertaining certain things, I probably wouldn't have done, if I wasn't feeling that way, if you understand what I'm saying. So I'm realizing that when we're in that space of feeling like we are all by ourselves, we are open to, agreeing to things that we typically normally wouldn't otherwise. So as I'm reading the article, I'm realizing that, they ask about extroverts and introverts, and I know that it differs because for introverts, and you guys can definitely correct me if I'm wrong, most introverts may prefer to be alone, but I'm pretty sure that's not all the time. But because of how they are, if you cancel on them, if you have plans and you cancel, it may not be the biggest thing for them because they may be wishing for the plans to be canceled anyway. So with that being said, there are different things that the article talks about, and these are some things that it mentioned that people do when they are feeling lonely. One of the things I would say to you is that I have done is literally finding a hobby, and finding a hobby basically to alleviate the space, because when you feel alone or when you are alone, there's just so much space in between. It's just like time is going by, and there's but so much of one thing that you can always do. So I found a hobby. A few things that I picked up in those early years was I started doing a lot of puzzling. I got into Sudoku. I got into just reading more and binge watching different kind of movies and things like that, because the thing about it is, I feel like when you are left to your own self, sometimes you can literally self-destruct, and because loneliness is real, it is very real. So in order to not just do crazy things, we have to definitely find ways to occupy our time. So I'm going to read off of this list a few of the things that the article mentioned that people do. And I will say to you, if I have done that during my time of feeling lonely or feeling alone, that I have done that, any of these things. So reading your Bible. Now, I am a Christian. I am a child of God. So that is the go-to for me sometimes. But there are times when I really don't feel like it. But there are times when it's definitely helps to focus me and to help me get back to my center. People say they masturbate, and I'll tell you that this article has this word kept coming up because especially like if you don't have a boyfriend, girlfriend, and you have urges, you have feelings. So masturbating is something that people mention that they really do to help themselves feel better, and especially because it releases the happy hormones. This is something that people go to help them pass time. I have not done that during that time. Listen to music. That is definitely something that I have done. Listen to a lot of various kind of music. And I know in a video, I believe my Get to Know Me video that I can link here, I mentioned that I listen to jazz a lot because it calms me and it's very relaxing for me. And I also listen to a lot of various gospel artists, and as well as just like the popular music or whatnot, if you want to call it that, pop music. And I mentioned trying a new hobby, which I have done. And I will tell you also that one of the things that I did in talking about hobbies was to create the YouTube channel. And this was to help me when I lost my son. And so this is something that I did to alleviate my, the constant thought process that I would have in the early year. This was in 2019 when he had passed. So to help me move on, not completely move on, but to help me in the grieving process, I definitely got into YouTube. And that has been helping me a whole lot. So if you do find that you are feeling alone, or feeling lonely, this is also a hobby that you can get into where you can create any content that you like, even if it's to talk about your day-to-day. That is completely fine. Travel. And this is very, this is an awesome thing to do, where you're learning about different places. And even in doing that, if you are meeting new people, that is a fun and exciting thing to do as well. So you could do travel blogs, your life when you go out there and meet new people and do different things. Work on self. So this is, to me, a key thing. Being a social worker, self-care, I'm always going to push that. Self-care is one of the most important things that we can do for ourselves and the people around us. Because you will find that once you are better mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, you are better able to deal with those around you and situation that comes up around you. So working on yourself, making sure that you're getting enough sleep, making sure that you're taking care of yourself physically, whether that means going to the doctor, getting your appointments done, and checking your health, and getting your mind right. So making sure you're relaxing, you're meditating, you're praying. All of that stuff is going to help you to exercising, yes, to get yourself balanced and together. That is definitely self-care. Others say that, they cry, make up scenarios, talk to future self or husband, about expectations, and what they would like to get from the future spouse or whomever it may be. Watch TV, drink, sleep, sing, smoke, talk to a counselor. Again, I will encourage these things definitely, because I know it's more of the positive things to do. Drinking and smoking sometimes can lead to more to more sadness or feeling lonely, because alcohol is a suppressant, so it can also definitely make you more sad. It may help you in that moment, which depending on how much you drink, you go to sleep, all of that stuff, so you're not really feeling, so you're becoming numb. So these are things that I would say not to do heavily, because if it becomes a pattern or a habit, that can cause more damage to yourself on all levels than anything else. If you are to the point where you are lonely and you're sad all the time, you don't feel like living, depression is always there, I would definitely encourage you to speak to someone, speak to a counselor, speak to a friend, someone that you trust. If you're, depending on the space that you're in, if you're at work, if you're at school, speak to someone that you feel like you can confide in, because that it definitely can lead to being chronic, and you don't want to get to that place where you are not taking good care of yourself. And in a situation like that, just always remember that you are not alone. As much as sometimes when we feel lonely, it's a feeling, right? And I remember one day or a week, this is, as I said, a lot of this for me happened when I was in my younger years. And I remember I went to church. I got myself up, and to be honest, it took me a little bit to get myself up and go, because I was just feeling down. And I went to church, and I was there and everything, and I was trying to hold the tears in because I was so sad inside. And I just got up from my seat and I went in the bathroom and I just let it all out. I was bawling. And sometimes that ugly cry, oh my Lord, it is good. Let it all out, let out all the tension and everything like that. And I remember, like, a friend of mine at church came and she knocked on the door and she was like, "Nicolene, what's wrong?" And I was just telling her, like, I just feel so alone, so lonely. And it's like, I had all those people around me, everyone I know, because it's like a family church. We all kind of know each other. And so everyone was there, but I just felt alone. And, in that time, I just know that I needed to work on that and to work through that, to really find out what was causing me to feel that way, and to work on that so that I can get to a better, more stable and positive place. So one of the things here, it says bacon, and I know that that's also another hobby. If you are into cooking, baking, anything of that sort, definitely tap into this, because it is definitely something that is helpful. You're getting yourself together. You could bake while you listen to music. You could bake while you drink a glass of wine. You could bake while you watch a movie, and you'll see that time goes by. So definitely these are things that would be very much helpful to do if you are ever feeling alone. So please, I would love to know, what do you do when you're feeling lonely? And I would say to you this, it is not, I'll be honest with you to say, I stopped having those feelings after marriage. Because what I would find is that, my friends before marriage, those who got married prior to me, they would have somebody who they can go to. You always have that constant you can go to. And that's what was missing. So I thank God for the day when He sent my husband, and I have that friend, I have that confident, that person that walks with me, and whatever I'm going through, whatever he is going through, we are here to support each other. And it doesn't mean that we don't have friends outside of that, but it just means that knowing that we have that person that we can go to, we can trust, we can talk to, whenever we're going through a situation, makes it a whole lot easier and better, where loneliness is concerned. So I would definitely just encourage you to let you know that if you are feeling lonely, you are not alone. You can definitely reach out to someone that is in your circle that you feel like is not there, because you have family, you have friends, and even if you do not, there are contact numbers that you can call to talk with someone regarding how you're feeling. I would also like to say, definitely do not allow that it's okay to be lonely sometimes. I'm not saying that it's not. It's definitely okay to be lonely sometimes. But when it gets to the point where you're having negative thoughts and feelings about yourself and wanting to like not live, wanting to end your life, that's when it gets problematic. Or when it's to the point where you find yourself drinking, sleeping all the time, then you're getting into a deep depression. You're getting really depressed, and you need to definitely get help. Okay, so definitely let me know in the comment section, what are some things that you do if you're feeling lonely, and if there are things that you are currently doing that are not so positive for your health or for your well-being, definitely also let me know in the chat. I will definitely love to be able to help you in that area. And it's not physically just me, but I would definitely like to help to partner with you with someone who I know will be able to help you to get better, to get to a better place. But definitely let me know if you found this video helpful, and if there's anything that you'd like to share about what you do if you are feeling lonely. Definitely put it in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will definitely see you guys in the next video. Again, thank you for joining me here at Underneath Her Skin, where we talk about what we go through in silence, and some family things as well as just lifestyle. Thank you for joining me here. Please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much.